Well, the new Flybeemon evolutions are about to come in clutch, huh? What is up, digital companions? My name is Karn EX and welcome back to another video. And yes, today we are exploring what it might look like if the Knowledge Armor Digivolutions got full evolution lines. So what their rookie and their armor acting as the champion, because Knowledge Armors are kind of equivalent to champion in power level. We do have some weird examples like Dromogimon digivolving to Digimon in Data Squad, but I don't even know what that means. Generally though, I think their power levels are kind of equivalent to champion, maybe a strong champion. So we're going to be finding an ultimate and a mega for these Digimon. The themes we're going to be looking for are earth, drills, mechanical elements, or just elements that align with the rookie and the armor we're looking at. So for example, when I did Digimon in the original video, just doing the armor digivolutions from 0-2, I went with Armadillimon to Digimon, and then either Metal Life Kuwagamon to keep a similar bug and coloration theme, or Bulbmon to double down on the excavation building site theme before ending on Heavy Leomon or Breakdramon, both with excavation themes going on, Breakdramon definitely more so. But you can see how that creates a bit of visual cohesion and indeed a bit of color cohesion, especially if we use something like Bulbmon and Heavy Leomon for a full line. But it does sadly lose bug elements, which we're going to try and mitigate as much as possible by including as many bug Digimon that I think work, but ultimately some bug elements may be left aside. Hey, speaking of bugs, knowledge, and tech literacy, if you've seen Digimon the movie, you know just how important it is to be vigilant against threats online. And if you've been online at all in the last 20 years or so, you'll know just how precious your personal data is and how often your personal data is ending up on databases that have got no right to them, which is why I want to give a huge shout out to today's sponsor, Incogni. It's so easy for data brokers to sell your personal data to people you don't want them getting in the hands of. Earlier this year, I even fell victim to a scam that used my personal data in a way that convinced me it was from an official government source. Thankfully, I realized it as I was typing the number in, but it was a close call, only made possible because someone that shouldn't have had my personal data did have it. But extreme cases like that, or even nuisance things like robocallers and spam emails, can all be effectively curbed with Incogni. And the likelihood of your own data getting breached is constantly increasing as well. There are hundreds of commercial databases and people's search sites that hold your personal information, with that number growing every year. But Incogni can solve that for you. Incogni reaches out to data brokers on your behalf, requests your personal data removal, and deals with any objections from their side. I signed up for Incogni and was super surprised to see immediately how well they got to work. The second I filled in my information, verified my email addresses, they were able to contact 41 brokers and immediately resolved a bunch of them in a blink of an eye, with the rest of the requests pending. I even then later in the day got an email from one of these data brokers confirming that they had expunged my record. And I'm now going to be excitedly refreshing the Incogni dashboard and waiting for my emails to confirm more of my personal data is now secure. Incogni reaches out to data brokers on your behalf, requests your personal data removal, and deals with any objections from their side. Since many data brokers continue collecting your personal information even after they've removed it, Incogni also take care that your data stays off the market by conducting repeated removal requests. This means that whenever a new record pops up on a data broker site, Incogni will automatically take care of it. That's what makes their yearly subscription especially advantageous. Incogni will continue protecting your data privacy for as long as you use the service. So why don't you try signing up for Incogni today? Use code Karn EX at the link below to get an exclusive 60% off an annual Incogni plan, or scan that QR code that's on screen right now. So thank you, and thank you to Incogni for sponsoring this video. Alright, so let's get into Vmon, who with the Digi-Egg of Knowledge becomes Honeybeemon. This is one of the better examples of armor digivolution. Vmon always gets good armor digivolutions. However, I do think Knowledge is one of the stronger eggs, with most of the forms either resembling or having a good connect back to the theme of the egg. For an evolution for Honeybeemon, well, the Beemon thing really makes me want to go with Dinobeemon, the kind of inverse to Paildramon, another potential DNA digivolution of Stingmon and XVmon. And while yes, it is a DNA digivolution, I kind of like it as a Honeybeemon evolution. They got wings, the blue elements, it all kind of works. You could also go with Jewelbeemon, but to me that really speaks more so as a Wormmon evolution, a Stingmon evolution, and less so as a Vmon Honeybeemon evolution. Now I know some people are going to want me to use something like Cannonbeemon because this is Honeybeemon, it's part of the Hive too, it should be part of the Royal Base probably, but I'm going to save it for now. And for the Mega going from Dinobeemon, well, why not Grand Kuwagamon? I think it works just great. Hawkmon with the Digi-Egg of Knowledge becomes Flybeemon, another Beemon, and I'm just going to put it out again, we're not going to be using Cannonbeemon for this. I know this seems ridiculous. Why would I not use the bees? I'll explain when we get to it. I really wish we could keep the red theming of Flybeemon. Unfortunately, there's not a ton of insect Digimon that really do that outside of Atla or Mega Kabuterimon. Some other evolutions I do like, though, would be Vespamon to keep the bee theme going and becoming a wasp, admittedly, but still, you know, it's all part of the royal base, the hive. Or even Clymon or Butenmon. Now, Butenmon 100% loses the bug element, but it is a red armored bird Digimon, so it would create a little bit of cohesion between Hawkmon and Flybeemon. And honestly, my main contenders here are going to be Atla Kabuterimon or Butenmon. Also, we have to remember that Hawkmon in Digimon Adventure 02 presents more masculine, even though it's aligned with a girl Digidestined, so I'm a little bit trepidatious to use feminine Digimon like Arukenimon as the ultimate, for example. Here's what my line is going to be. Hawkmon to Flybeemon to Butenmon to Examon or Zuchaomon. No, it does not have bug themes, and that sucks, but we are still so limited for bug Digimon that, yeah, that's just the way it's going to be. However, some alternate contenders, I think Vespamon and Atla Kabuterimon are also great, and maybe Tyrant Kabuterimon would work. The purpley kind of color could be somewhat similar to red, I guess. Another Digimon that could work is Bancho Stingmon, because it's a big red Digimon, so as the Mega for Flybeemon, pretty good. Also because, you know, Yoli marries Ken. I just think to me, Bancho Stingmon feels more like a regular Stingmon evolution in the 02 continuity, so not super happy using it for Flybeemon, but it's definitely a contender, you know? This one sucked, honestly. This one has to be custom art at some point, I think. Patamon becomes Mothmon with the Digi-Egg of Knowledge, and this is why I saved Canon Beemon. I know I really wanted to use the Beemon evolutions for the Beemon Digimon, but that big machine gun on Mothmon just screamed the Gatling gun on Canon Beemon. I could not use it, but I will make a little bit of a contention here. I will say, if you do want to use Canon Beemon for Honeybeemon, we could specifically use Canon Beemon Aircraft Carrier for Mothmon, kind of hinting at the more gun-focused theme, but I think Canon Beemon has to be the evolution for Mothmon here. It also kind of sucks that we don't really have many other Moth Digimon. There are Butterfly Digimon, but we don't really have something that could be a through line for Mothmon, sadly, and I like that gun bottom connection a little bit too hard. And then, yeah, sure, we can make the Mega Tiger Vespamon, which is kind of the OG evolution for Canon Beemon, and you could say the more humanoid vibe could match up with how Patamon originally becomes Seraphimon when it digivolves conventionally, and even I can see how the coloration of Tiger Vespamon is more similar to that of Patamon, meaning the leap between Patamon and Mothmon is a little bit less random, kinda. Gatomon becomes Butterflymon with the Digi-Egg of Knowledge, and yeah, it once again sucks that Hoodymon is not an ultimate or a Mega Digimon like other biomerges, but instead is a champion. However, we do have Eosmon, which exists at every level and is kind of a counterpart to Morphomon, so the butterfly theming is still there, and that's why I am going to use Eosmon Perfect or Eosmon Ultimate as Butterflymon's evolution. Menua, who created Eosmon, is also specifically tied to the adventure continuity, just like Kari, and Kari was kind of the original extra ranger of Digimon Adventure, which Mako and indeed Menua also are, although Menua is definitely less of a core part of the team, unlike Kari and Mako. So again, we could use Eosmon Mega as her Mega, but come on, Queen Beemon exists now, of course I've got to use it. Making Gatomon, without the tail ring of course, because we're treating Gatomon kind of like a rookie, become Butterflymon, Eosmon Perfect, and then Queen Beemon. Great evolution line, does kind of transmute Butterfly into Bee, but also means that much like how Pegasusmon and Nefertimon are a matching pair, how Hope and Light are kind of matching crests and are key to Warp Digivolution in the original adventure, TK and Kari's partners, when they Knowledge Armor Digivolution, both end up as the matching Megas of the royal base. And that is why I saved them for this. I'm sorry Honeybeemon, I'm sorry Flybeemon. Listen, here's another take. We're trying to use unique evolutions for all of these. If you want, if it's got Beemon in its name, give it the Bees. So all of them can become Canon Beemon, Vespamon, Tiger Vespamon, and Queen Beemon. But to make it a little bit more unique, specifically Gatomon to Butterflymon to Eosmon Perfect and Queen Beemon. And that leads us finally to Wormmon, who becomes Searchmon with the Digi-Egg of Knowledge. A great Digimon. I do wish it was a little bit more golden colored like the Digi-Egg, but still you can definitely see how this is Wormmon clad in armor, right? And obviously it has the big knowledge antenna. Finding Digimon that visually match Searchmon though is a little bit more tricky. What insect is it? And that's why I do think that a good evolution for it could be Metal Kabuterimon or Bolgmon, keeping up the armored theming, and indeed even adding purples, which is one of the colors associated with the Digi-Egg and Crest of Knowledge. And so I do think Ancient Beetlemon would be a no-brainer Mega for this. I think instead, looking at Wormmon, Searchmon, and Metal Kabuterimon, we could make the Mega Grandis Kuwagamon. A really great match, and as you'll recall, I used Dino Beemon and Grand Kuwagamon for Vmon, meaning that we get another matching pair with Vmon, Honeybeemon ending up in Grand Kuwagamon, and Wormmon Searchmon ending up in Grandis Kuwagamon. Obviously reflecting Davis and Ken being partners, their Digimon DNA digivolving, and Grandis looking like Imperialdramon Fighter mode, and Gran looking like Imperialdramon Dragon mode. And that is the other reason why I did not use something like Queen Beemon or Tiger Vespamon for Honeybeemon. I wanted this lore connection more than I just wanted, oh well it's a bee so it has to become a bee. But anyway, that is it. My picks for what the Knowledge Armor Digivolution's full evolution lines might be. I know I've given you a few options for some of these, but I'm just going to put down exactly what I think should happen. And again, remember that Digivolution is totally free. So on things like the V-Pets, you are going to lose elements like bug elements or ground elements or bee elements in the pursuit of Digimon style evolution. So that is Armadillomon to Digmon to Bulbmon to Breakdramon, Vmon to Honeybeemon to Dinobeemon to Grand Kuwagamon, Hawkmon to Flybeemon to Butenmon to Zuchaomon, Patamon to Mothmon to Cannonbeemon to Tiger Vespamon, Gatomon to Butterflymon to Eosmon Perfect and Queen Beemon, and Wormmon to Searchmon to Metal Kabuterimon and Grandis Kuwagamon. Thank you to today's sponsor Incogni, I do appreciate you, and to my sovereign ZDK14 over on patreon.com/Karn EX, as well as everyone else who supports me on Patreon, and to my channel memberships here on YouTube. We are cooking up some custom art videos right now that I'm sure the Davis Sovereigns and all of you are going to enjoy. There's going to be like 2 in August, probably 3 into September, and then there'll be 2 custom art videos in the Spooktober Spectacular in October. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time when we go digital. Bye bye.